Hey, what's up guys, YouTube? So today's day 42. Maybe day 41 actually. But as usual, basic physics update, ketogenic diary, and after that I'm gonna talk about difference between what I noticed the differences between Germany, Munich, and Vancouver, Canada. So I'm gonna be comparing two cities because I just came back on vacation, went to Europe and visited Munich, which is the third most livable city in the world, versus Vancouver, which is the fifth world most livable cities in the world based on Mercer city ranking. So I'm going to be comparing those two cities in terms of people, in terms of infrastructures, in terms of social systems, and culture as well. Okay, and so let's get started. So today was day 41. I'm going to update my, here. Day 41. You can tell, you can look, you can see. Alright, so day 41, how was it? In terms of body weight wise, I gained like 300 grams since yesterday. Probably because yesterday I think I ate a little over 1900 calories. I worked out, but I still ate a little bit too much because I was pretty hungry and I had the smoked sausage, pepperoni sausage as a snack, 5 snacks, and also had a big chunk of high calorie, high fat sausage as a lunch, and also had carbohydrates as post workout. So ended up having 1900 calories. I was expecting to gain a little bit more, but just 300 grams. In terms of strength, how I feel energy level wise, felt pretty good. Slept 8 hours, good 8 hours, and I woke up like 7 a.m. Workout wise, yesterday was not good, as I think mentioned. So today, workout wise, it's pretty good. I didn't feel super tired. I think I had more calories, ATP stored in my muscles, so didn't feel super exhausted like I was during vacation. During the day, do I feel hungry? Well, I would say yeah. I think I get kind of distracted. Maybe because I have snacks on my drawer, so that kind of affects my mental. I think it'll definitely affect my mental focus because there's a distraction right there. Like I have in the back of my mind, oh, I can grab some snack. So felt a little bit restless a little bit once in a while, but not too much. So I ended up having lunch at 2 a.m. 2 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. so it's good. I had a kind of fasting going on, and energy wise I talked about it, weight wise talked about it, training, strength wise today was biceps, triceps, and what else I did? Oh yeah, neck extension. So I focused on those three. Did almost 9, 3, 5, so maybe 18, 19 sets. I was shooting for 20 sets for one part, so biceps. So I do negative barbell curl, biceps curl for 9 sets or 10 sets. And then meanwhile, in between, during the rest, in between sets, I do triceps extension with 25 pounds. And then I move on to barbell curl again, 5 sets, and also do cable tricep extension, negative, for 5 sets, and after that I do seated dumbbell curl, 5 sets, and then also do overhead tricep extension, and then lastly I do neck extension using a weight here and forehead, lying down face up, and then extend to here and also side like this. So that's that. Let's do a physique update. Excuse me. I guess in terms of body fat, even if I lost 3 kilos, 3+ kilos since I came back on vacation, day 41, I still feel like I don't get much more vascular. I don't see much blood vessels popping up. I see my face fat a little bit toned down. I could tell, but a little bit. it's not like extreme like ideal. So personally, I feel like I want to lose a little bit more body fat so that I feel completely shredded, like super vascular. Because right now I look at it, like I don't see too much of a difference since like day 10 or day 20th of a ketogenic diet. So, even if 3 kilos lost, maybe like most of the body fat loss was maybe like in the back here, like maybe unnoticeable parts here and there. And then aside. Then the front. Anyways, that's the physique update. I think you are not interested in my physique at all. It's mostly for myself, kind of for reflection in the future. But let's talk about difference between Munich and Vancouver. So both cities are one of the world's top cities to live, and actually the people actually moving to Vancouver a lot due to pretty good infrastructure, stable life, work-life balance, social system. And I have been living in Vancouver for past 8 years. I visited Munich for 3-4 days, and what I noticed is that definitely there are pros and cons for both cities. I was expecting Munich to be much better, but once I came back to Vancouver, like walking around the city, like commuting, and I see like some of the downsides of Munich, which I noticed, or I think that it was just a perspective. It's kind of like grasses are always greener, and I noticed that maybe I try to put myself into those people living in Munich's shoes. So why would they want to move to Vancouver, even if that Munich is pretty well known or a stable city? And then try to put myself into their shoes, and I noticed that the city streets and road infrastructure wise, apartments, they look pretty old, and they are actually older than the ones here in Vancouver. So infrastructure wise, because it's in a city in Europe, they have a lot of history. So infrastructure wise, cities and road, they're much more I think it's much more older, broken, road is not as like smooth and clean as the ones here, because Vancouver has been built like in the past 10-15 years, so a lot of like civil development done in Vancouver. So apartment in downtown, it's pretty new, like the like modern looking high apartment, like high rises are being built in past 10 years, maybe 8 years, maybe one of the more latest ones is like past 3 years. So definitely you're gonna notice like much more cleanness, modernness. It looks like it's like ahead of the time. Whereas in Munich, everything is old. Trams, some of the trams are old. Trains old. Train station like train station or like a street on the side, they're like pretty dirty. Maybe like garbages and stuff. And so that's what I noticed, and that's what I kind of appreciate about Vancouver. It's so clean. Road, streets are pretty clean. Buildings are clean as well. Like it seems like I live in like a modern city. Like I'm catching up with the trend. Whereas in Munich, it seems like it's pretty old. I think it's everywhere. Like even like Prague, I lived there. Apartment, like outer appearance is pretty old and not well maintained, but inside is actually clean and pretty modern. So same thing, like the outer appearance, like street wise, road wise, apartment wise, everything looks much older in Munich. So what about people, like culture wise, how people behave in a group, like in a general sense? People in Vancouver tend to be much more friendly, open and kind. Just on a superficial side though, doesn't mean like they're people in Germany like Munich are no kind. It's not that, just that they give that it gives you kind of like, how do I say, the impression that people here are much more like quick to respond to quick to give kindness to others. For example, when you're like walking by and then you bump into somebody's shoulder, right, they're gonna say like, oh sorry here, or like when you're passing by, exchange eye contact and a little like smile on your face, or like you're shopping and those people working in the stores like cashier, they're much more friendly. Whereas in Munich, people, not just in Munich but in Europe in general, they tend to be a little bit more like serious and poker face, and they don't probably have the same concept of customer service, small talk. So yeah, the small talk is definitely like Western Anglosphere, like UK, Australia, Canada, United States thing. People respond much more warm-heartedly. So that's something that makes me feel like, oh, I'm part of the society, I'm part of the community. Whereas in like Munich, I feel like it's kind of like everybody is minding their own business and not really like integrating to the community by keeping the whole interaction warm-hearted, calm and kind. It's not saying, I'm not saying like all the people there are rude, but it's just I feel like a much more colder and a dry interaction wise, and so yeah, that's the thing. People are more, I think, inclusive in West Coast, like in Canada, as far as I know, Vancouver. Like on a surface level, they are a little bit more inclusive and friendly to strangers. Whereas in Munich, I feel like people like they do not say like hi like nicely, like they don't break the ice as openly as in here. So that's a thing. Maybe that affect some of you guys. I'm kind of still evaluating if that's important to me or not. Other things definitely so that's the thing, like city wise, like the appearance, outer appearance of the city, older versus newer, people wise much friendlier. It's easy to talk to, not necessarily easy to make best friends here. That's the difference. What else that I wanted to talk about? Definitely I can't really compare the weather because I haven't lived in Munich in the summertime, but summertime in Vancouver is really great. Wintertime in Munich was really cold. What else? Oh yeah, Vancouver wise, it's much more, I would say, both cities have pretty nice infrastructure, like train systems, bus, trams, so it's easy to get around Vancouver. but I noticed that Vancouver downtown is much more centralized. It's probably because city downtown area is much smaller than city center in Munich. Probably like half the size of Munich downtown area. So you don't really need to take trains or walk 30 minutes to walk from the edge of the downtown to the other side. Whereas in Munich, city center is pretty big, so it takes time to walk around. And also suburb area, there's so many trains, like subways in Munich, whereas here in Vancouver there's only 3 lines for SkyTrains. So Vancouver itself is much more smaller. Population wise, I think Munich has 1.7 million people, whereas in Vancouver it's 700,000, so it's like double the size of Vancouver. What else? So when it comes to working and commuting, it'll take more time to get around in Munich because city is bigger, so I noticed I live in a really quite good spot in downtown middle of the city center, so I can walk to a gym, grocery store, and shopping mall in within 5 minutes, work 5 minutes. Whereas in Munich, downtown city center in Munich is so expensive, and it's whole 1 kilometer radius is dedicated for old town just shopping street and old town castles and cathedrals. So it's not really a place to live, so it'll take more time to get around in city center. So the minimalistic being able to walk around, how is it possible, how easy it is to walk around and get around. Vancouver wins, but probably because it's such a small city. Alright, so lastly, I just making sure that I'm not missing anything. But I'm still evaluating if Munich is any better than Vancouver, but obviously people more like immigrants coming to Vancouver than probably Munich, and much more open culture to embrace diversity. So there are so many people coming from different countries in Europe, Asia, South America. So we have more that kind of accepting mindset. Doesn't necessarily mean that all those people are actually not really making deeper connection with each other, but still at least we have the foundation of accepting it and coping with it. Whereas in Munich it's more one dominant ethnicity and then minority, and I'm still evaluating, but people here have much more openness and friendliness, and they're used to seeing more immigrants. So I don't know if that's gonna make me feel invited, or feel that cities and people are much more friendly here or not. It's too quick to judge because I stayed in Munich for just 3 days, but definitely the food wise, food. Vancouver, I appreciate it so much about so many foods, variety of food we have, and a variety of restaurants we have here, and much cheaper. Whereas in Munich, in a sushi restaurant, they're using euros, plus it's far away from the ocean, so everything was so expensive. They had a few basic restaurants Pho, Vietnamese and Japanese. Was here just so many Asian food restaurants, and much cheaper. And there, Munich is much more high-end city, so everything is expensive. But here, you can have so many restaurants and much cheaper, so it's much convenient to grab some food here. So food culture wise, it's much more dynamic and energetic here in Vancouver, which might or might not be a deal breaker for you. So that's that, so far. I'm gonna let you know if I notice something else, but I'm gonna cut it short here. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments, questions about what I talked about Munich versus Vancouver, let me know in the comment section. Alright, see you guys next time. Bye bye.